Game theory in collaborative and dynamic games. Introduction to game theory. What is game theory? Game theory is the study of mathematical models of strategic interaction between rational decision makers. It provides framework for understanding situations where player individual countries make decisions that are independent. Static versus dynamic games. Static game occur once, that is one-time interaction. Example, a business making a pricing decision against a competitor with no future interactions. Dynamic games evolve over time and involve multiple stages where players' decisions are affected by past actions, future consequences, and ongoing relationships. Cooperative versus non-cooperative games. Cooperative games, player can form binding commitments and collaborate to achieve mutual benefits. Example, two companies entering a strategic partnership. Non-cooperative games, player act in their own self-interest and there is no possibility of binding agreements. Example, pricing competition between rivals. Collaborative game dynamics, how collaborative games evolve over multiple stages and the importance of cooperation for mutual success. Multi-stage collaboration. In collaborative game, players' decisions at each stage influence both current and future outcomes. A key idea is that cooperation today may lead to better long-term results. Real-world example. Example, in business alliances, companies that work together to share resources or information can build stronger long-term relationships as seen in tech companies sharing research. Importance for future outcomes. In dynamic and collaborative games, today's decision impact tomorrow's option. Future rewards can create stronger incentives for cooperation. Key component, key concept in game theory. Nash equilibrium. A situation where no player can improve their outcome by changing their strategy given the strategies of others. Example, in a business context, two firms in a competitive market may settle on a pricing strategy where neither can improve their position without damaging their own profits. Repeated games. Games that are played multiple times where players have the opportunity to adapt their strategies based on previous interactions. Importance in cooperation. The repeated nature of the game allows the player to punish defections or reward cooperation, which fosters long-term collaboration. You can use the famous prisoner dilemma scenario played repeatedly. Application and examples. Real-world application of game theory in various sectors to make the theory tangible for the audience. Business alliances. Example, in strategic partnership, firms collaborate on research and development, marketing, or distribution to reduce cost and share profits. However, there are always the risk that one party might defect, that is example, steal property information. Agriculture. Example, farmers deciding on crop production based on expected weather condition and market demand. Cooperation or collusion between farmers may lead to better pricing and supply management, but there is always risk of individual farmers defecting and overproducing. Environmental agreements. Governments or organizations may cooperate to reduce carbon emissions, but the free rider problem means some may benefit without contributing. Game theory helps design commitments to ensure cooperation. Challenge in collaborative game dynamic games. Common pitfalls and challenges in cooperative games including defection risk and how to mitigate them. Commitment mechanisms. Problem. In dynamic games, players may not trust each other to honor long-term agreements. Solution. Use mechanisms like legally binding contracts or reputation systems to ensure commitments are kept. Example, in business, companies may use contracts that outline penalties for failing to cooperate in joint ventures. Risk of defection. Problem. Players may be tempted to defect and pursue their own interests if the short-term gain outweighs the long-term benefit of cooperation. Solution. Introduce strategies like tit for tat where players reciprocate each other's behavior to encourage cooperations over time. Visual aid. So, how a single act of defection in repeated game can lead to worse outcomes for both players compared to continuous cooperation. Incentives. Incentive structures such as rewards for cooperation or punishments for defection are essential in prompting long term collaboration. Example, in business, profit sharing models can motivate employees to work together for the company's success. Strategies for success provide strategies and best practice for achieving success in dynamic and collaborative games. Transparency and communication. Why it works? Clear communication fosters trust, reduces misunderstandings, and ensures that all players are aligned in their goals. Example, in partnerships, regular meetings and open discussions about strategy help ensure everyone is on the same page. Establishing fair payoff distribution. Why it works? Fair and transparent distribution of benefits helps maintain long term cooperation. If players feel they are treated fairly, they are more likely to continue collaborating. Example, in a joint venture, companies need to agree on how profits and losses will be shared from the outset. Long term perspective. Fostering a long term relationship rather than focusing on immediate gains can help sustain cooperation and discourage short term selfishness. Example, in agriculture, long term contracts between farmers and the distributors help manage supply and demand cycles effectively. Conclusion. Emphasize that by focusing on cooperation communication and the right incentives, player can achieve better long term outcomes. Thank you.